Hello friends, this is Roshni. In this video, we are going to see about multi-dimension array. In the previous video, we discussed about what is an array, and also we discussed about single dimension array with example. And in this video, we are going to see about multi-dimension array. So arrays of two types, single dimension array and multi-dimension array. Single dimension array we will be creating by, first we have to say the data type, and we have to put the square bracket, and square bracket says that it is an array. And also in the previous video we discussed about the placing of the square bracket. What is the difference between placing the square bracket here and placing it here? I hope that you watched it. And then we have to say the name of the array, then we have to use a new operator, followed by again we have to say the type, and then we have to say the size of an array, and then we can finish it. This is how we created a single dimension array. This is one way of creating a single dimension array using new operator. So we discussed all these things earlier. So here let's discuss about multi-dimension array. In this video we are going to talk about two-dimension array, and in the next video we'll see about three-dimension array and jagged array. So let's see how to create a two-dimension array. So first again we have to say the type of the array, and since it is a two-dimension array we have to say two square bracket. It says it is a two-dimension array, followed by we have to say the name of the array, and first we will see about how to create an array using new operator, right? So we'll use the keyword new, then followed by again the type, and then we have to say two square brackets for two-dimension array. The first square bracket says how many number of rows, and the second square bracket says how many number of column. So let's say we can have 2 rows and 3 columns. So how does it look like? So we can have 2 rows. So multi-dimension array means it's an array of array, right? So first this can be the 0th row, and then we'll create the second row, and this is indexed by 1. So we know always the array index starts from 0, 1. So here since we have 2 rows, so this is the 0th row and this is the first row. And then we say here we have 3 columns. So this is the first column, and this is the second column, and this is the third column. So we'll be indexing like 0, 1, 2. Right, and this location can be named as 0th row and 0th column. So it is like 0, 0. And next this place will be indexed with 0th row, first column, and this is 0th row and second column, because the index starts from 0, so 0, 1, 2. And this place will be indexed by first row, 0th column, and this is again first row, first column. This is first row, second column, right? So this is how a two-dimension array of size 2 rows and 3 columns will be created, right? So this is a way of creating with new keyword. Then we can also create array using array initializer method. Okay, so the second way of creating a two-dimension array we'll discuss with array initializer concept. Okay, so let's see how to do it. So again, first we have to say the type. So let's create for integer type, and again we have to say it is a two-dimension array. So 2 square brackets, followed by you have to say the name of the array, equal to. So for array initialization method, we have to do the initialization in the same line where we declare an array. So this is the declaration part, right? So here in the same line itself we have to do the declaration as well. So here let's say, so you have to start with the curly brace, and we will end it with a curly brace, and let's end it with semicolon. So let's say we are going to create a two-dimension array with the 2 rows and 3 columns. So let's say this is the first row and this is the second row. Separate this two with a comma. So this is the 0th row and this is the first row, okay? And then we are going to create 3 columns. So we can have 3 elements in it, say for example 10, 20, 30. So this is the first row, and in the first row we have 3 columns, and in the second row, like we can say like 40, 50, 60, right? So in this initialization, so using array initialization, we can create array like this. So another method is also there. So we'll see about the third method, how to create an array for 2-dimensional array. In that, what we have to do is, we can do like this. First again we have to say the type, then we have to put 2 square brackets to say 2-dimension array, name of the array, then equal to, then use new keyword, then we have to say the type again, and we have to put the square bracket. Now this time what I am going to do here is, I am not going to specify the rows and column here. So instead I am going to give the data here. Okay, so array elements I am going to specify. By seeing that array initial like data, the elements I am going to put here, the Java compiler will understand how many row and how many column is here. So let's, as in the same example, we'll see we can have 2 rows. Okay, 2 rows separated by comma, and we'll put 3 columns. So here we'll put 10 comma 20 comma 30, and here I can put 4 comma 5 comma 6. So here we can see from this the Java compiler can understand the number of row here is 2 and the number of column here is 3. So automatically it will take it. So we don't want to mention the rows and columns here. So in this third method, okay. So these are the different way we can able to create an array for 2-dimension array. So let's discuss with an example so you can understand it clearly. So this is what we discussed about in the previous previous video. So let's now talk about the multi-dimension array. So as we saw, we'll do multi-dimension 2-dimension array using new operator. So first you have to use the type of the array, then we have to say 2 square bracket to specify it is a 2-dimension array. Then I have to say the name of the array equal to new. Then again I have to say the type, and then 2 square brackets. So the first square bracket we have to mention the row. So let me say 2 row, and here I am going to say 3 columns, right? So here this is how we can create a 2-dimension array using new operator. The same thing can also be written like, so here let's say, so this can also be done like, we'll say R, this here we did initialization like array declaration and instantiation both happened in the same line. So this can also be written like int, this 2 square brackets to say 2-dimension array, and then name of the array. Okay, so this line, so we'll give new name like say array1. So this part is a array declaration. Okay, so this is array declaration. So in the next line we will be defining, instantiating the array arr1. So how to do? The array name arr1 equal to, using the new keyword we will be instantiating by allocating the memory to 2 square brackets. The first square bracket says about the number of rows, 2 rows, and we can say as 3 column, right? So this is one way, the same thing. So here we did the declaration and instantiation of the array, everything in the same line. So that can also be done here by declaration in the separate line and then array instantiation in the second line. So both are right. So either you can go for this method or this method. Okay. Now the array is ready. Okay, so now let's talk about how to put data or element inside this array. So here as we saw in the previous diagram, like if you see here, you can we discussed we have 2 rows and 2 columns. So here first we are going to say the name of the array, and we are going to put the element for 0th row, 0th column. Let's say the element is 20. Okay, so same way we have to say array. So here we have mentioned 2 rows and 3 columns, right? So in the 0th row again we have to say the first column value is equal to 30. Okay, same way we can say the name of the array, the 0th row, second column, we are going to assign the data with 40. Okay, so now we have done with the first row, like this. And the next thing is we have to go for the next row. So again, name of the array, first row, and in the 0th column we can assign some value, say for example 1. Again in the array, first row, and in the first column we are going to put some data 2. Again in the array, first row, and in the second column we are going to put the data 3. Okay, so this is how we can manually initialize the data for this kind of array, right? So let's try to display this. Okay, so in the previous video we talked about we can display the content of the data in many ways. So one way is, so we can just specify the name of the array. So, and if I just say this name of the array, we will not get the data. It will be sending some like reference value. Okay, so we have to specify. If I just specify the name of the array and if I want to display the content in it, then we have to use the class called array dot toString function will help you. So since array is a reference type, we have to use toString function. Okay, array dot toString, and then we have to say I am going to display the 0th row of this array. Okay, so now let's run it. So here we know this is the 0th row values. So we got 20, 30 and 40. Same way I can use, I want to display the first row element. So I can say ARR of 1. So here we can see this. Here we have given for the first row we gave 20, 30, 40. So this is the 0th column, this is the first column, this is the second column, right? And for the second, that is the second row, that is indexed with 1. So here we gave 1, 2, 3. So this is the 0th index column and second 1. Okay, first column and second column. So since the array starts from 0, it goes like 0, 1, 2. And this is the 0th row and this is the first row, right? So this is how we can able to manually do it, but it's little bit difficult to do this, right? So every time if this array is of big size, then typing like this is very difficult. So we will be doing the same thing using a for loop. Okay, so since we have two things, row and column, we are going to use two for loop for this. So let's write a for loop. So we know the for loop syntax, first initialization. So I'm going to initialize a variable, then condition. So this need to be go till the size of an array, right? So I can say it is ARR.length. Okay, then so which means it will be going till the length of the array. So it will consider this as 2. Okay, so the row size, and then I plus plus. So this outer for loop is for the row value. Okay, which specify the rows, the 0th row and the first row. So you can statically say a value like 2, but this is not a good practice. Okay, rather than statically saying, we'll dynamically get the data like this. And then we are going to use a nested for loop, an inner for loop there. Again, we are going to use another variable j equal to 0. Since the array starts from 0, then j condition is j less than. So how long? So this inner for loop, I said this one we are going to use for columns. Okay, for the columns. So for the first row, how many columns? We know now 3 columns, but getting it dynamically is a good practice. So how will we get the first? We know it is an array of array. So we have to say first rows, okay, length. So first rows length will give you the first rows length will give you how many columns are there. Okay, so then followed by then j plus plus. So first time I value will be, we'll put the curly braces. So here it's correct now. So now you can see this for loop. Outer for loop is for specifying the row, and the second for loop specifies the column. So for we have to take for each row. So for the specifying the first row is a of 0, right? So instead of directly saying a of 0, we know that here we are putting I value. So I value here it goes from 0 and 1, since we gave I less than arr dot length. So array length is 2, right? So here then it will go till 2 1, right? And here for getting the column length, I can say arr of I, which means first time I value will be 0. So in the 0th row, how many length? So that will be getting. Then I value will be incremented. Then arr of 1. So this is the first row, how many length? So that can be got by arr of 1, right? So the I value will be changing depending upon the number of rows we have. Right, so now it is ready. We are going to get the data from the user. So let's, for user friendly nature, we'll give like enter the elements of the array. Okay, so this will help us to know what to do with it. Right, so here we will be getting the data from the user. We know whenever we want to get a data from the user, one of the ways using the scanner class. So we are going to create an object for the scanner class, and this scanner class is going to get the input from the system's input stream, and for that we have to include a header file. So if you click on it, it will automatically include the header file for that. So here what we are going to do, we want to get one by one element for this array from the user. So this array is of type integer, right? So here we are going to say arr of, first time we want to say the row value, right? So I have to give the value as I, and then I have to say the column. So here I have to give the j. So this I is going to specify the row, and the j, second for loop, is going to specify the column. So first time we know 0th row, and the column values this 0 1 2. So that's what will happen. 0th row, then column will be this inner for loop will be iterating. So the j value will go from 0 to 2, right? 0 1 2. So then here we will be getting the data from the user scan dot nextInt. Since it is an integer array, we are going to use the function nextInt. Right, so this will help us to get the data from the user. After that, we will be using again the same kind of for loop to display the content of this. Okay, so let's use it. So I'm going to copy and paste it now. Once again the same for loop. Here instead of getting, we are going to display the output. So system.out.print. So we will be displaying in the same fashion. So first row all should be in the same line, and when it go to the next row, it should go to the next line, and it has to print all the columns. So for that, here I am going to take this, remove this ln, so that it will remain in the same line. And here I have to print name of the array. First I have to specify the row value, then I have to specify the column value, and we will give a plus and a small space between the data. For that I am going to give a space like this. And once it finished the inner for loop, which means it completes all columns in the first row. So when it go to the next iteration of the for loop, we'll give a next line. So for that we'll give simply a system.out.println. So this will take the control to the next line, right? So now let's run this program. So it is asking enter the elements of an array. So we are going to, so we already know 2 rows and 3 columns. So let's specify is like 10, 20, 30. So this first row is over. Then we'll give like 1, 2, 3, right? So we have received the input using this for loops, and then using this for loops, we have displayed the data. So first in the first row, 10, 20, 30. Okay, so these are the data for the first row, and these are the data for the second row. So we got 1, 2, 3. So this is how we can able to dynamically get the data for this this 2-dimension array. Then we can able to display it. Okay, so this is about creating a 2-dimension array and getting the data like this when we use a new operator. So then we are going to discuss about creating an array using array initialization method. So again, for that we know that we have to first specify the data type. Then we have to put 2 square bracket to mention it is a 2-dimension array. Then we have to give the name of the array, followed by here. We know for array initialization, we have to use the curly braces. Every statement end with a semicolon. So this is for this. Then inside this, we know we are going to create 2-dimension array. Let's now create 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, earlier in the example, we created 2 rows and 3 columns. Now we will create 3 rows and 2 columns. So we are going to say about 3 rows. So this is for the first row, and this is for the second row, and this is for the third row. So every row is separated by a comma. And then for each row, we are going to say 2 columns. So we'll say 10, 20. Right? So this first row is over. And in the second row, we'll say 100, 200, some data. Right? And in the third row, we are going to say like 40, 50. So this is how we can able to do 2-dimension array with array initialization method. So here we have, so depending upon the data we are going to assign, Java compiler will automatically know how many rows and how many columns are there. So it will automatically know 3 rows are there and 2 columns are there. Then how will we get the data? Say for example, we'll first display 200. So how to get this 200? How to print this 200? We'll say system.out.println. So this 200 is in the, this is 0th row, first row, second row. So it is in the first row and in the first column. So we'll say, so this is the 0th row and this is the first 0th column, first column, right? So I'm going to say the name of the array. The first square bracket will say the row number. So it is in the row number 1. Then in the second square bracket, I have to say the column. It is in the which column? This is 0th column. This is the first column. So I'll say 1. So now if I run this program, I'll get the output as 200, right? If I want this 40 to display, so how will you display? So which it is in which? So first square bracket, we have to specify the row. So this is 0th row, first row, second row. So this is the second row, and then this is the in the second row, this is the 0th column. So I have to say 0th column, right? So if I run this one, I will get the answer as 40, right? So this is how we can individually get the data. If I want to display every data from this array, then again we are going to use the for loop. So we know same thing. The outer for loop is to specify the row. So I can say I less than first one. To specify the row length, just specify the name of the array dot length, then I plus plus. So this will help us to know the number of rows in for this array. Then for each row, we want to say how many number of column are there. For the column, we use another for loop, and we'll use a variable j starting with 0, then j less than a of I dot length, because for every row I want to find what is the length, right? So array name is ARR. So ARR of the first row, for every row the length of that, then followed by j plus plus. So now the for loop is ready. Just put a system.out.println. And here for when we are displaying the row, everything should be specified in the same line. So we are going to remove this ln and name of the array, and first the row specified by I and the column specified by j. So once it finished the inner for loop, that is one full column is completed, then that is the first row full columns are completed. When it go to the next row, it has to go to the next line. So we'll just put a system.out.println. So this helps us to give a new line once it finished this first row. Okay. So when we run this program, we will get the output. So we will give a space here. See, there is no space between the elements. So we'll put a plus, and we will give some space here. So that will give a good readability. So here you can see there are 3 rows, 0th row, first row and second row, and here we have two columns. This is the 0th column and this is the first column, right? So this is how we can able to do array creation using array initialization method. Okay, and then the next thing is, I also told you another way to create an array. So everything are similar. So here we can use, like it is a 2-dimension array. Then we are going to, you can give any name to the array. Okay, so let's say the array name is number this time, and then use the new keyword. Then say the type, again to specify 2-dimension, I'm going to use 2 square brackets. This time I'm not going to specify the row value and column value here. So I can do like this. So here inside this curly braces, I am going to specify it. So first I have to say the curly braces, then I have to say this is for the first row and this is for the second row. And so we'll keep 2 rows, and let's add some 4 columns. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the second row, I will say 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So this is the another way of creating an array. Okay, so again Java compiler, by looking into the number of row and the number of columns, it automatically give the value to this array and it will create the memory allocation. Okay, so these are the 3 ways, and same way again using a for loop you can able to access the data of this and display it. Simple way to display is, first you can use this toString function. I can say name first the class name arrays dot toString, and then we have to display the array name. Let's display the first row. So I'll say ARR of 0, right? So if I so here the array name is number, right? So number of 0. So this is the array name, and I am going to display the first row. So first row is specified by num of 0. So num of 0. So when I give the first square bracket, it specify the first row. So when I run this program, you can able to see only the first row. So here we can see the first row has 1, 2, 3, 4, which means the row with the index 0. So if I want the next one also, you can say like second row is indexed with 1, right? So here if I run it, I'll get the both the rows, 0th row as well as the first row. So this is how we can able to simply display it. Otherwise you can also use a for loop to display the content of this array. Okay, and one more important information I can tell you is, when I create an array normally, like say for example 2-dimension array, 2 square brackets, name of the array equal to new keyword, and then I have to say the type, and I have to say the 2 square brackets, right? So here you should remember, here the first square bracket is for the row and the second square bracket is for the column. And when we give the value, it is compulsory that we should always mention the number of rows. Okay, and once I give the row, the error was gone, right? And there is no need to give the column. It is not compulsory that you have to specify the column. During the runtime, you can also specify it. Okay, but if I don't give the row value, it will show you error. So always whenever you create a 2-dimension array like this, you should specify the row value. But if you don't specify the column value, later you can specify it. But the row value you cannot do later. You should specify the row value. Okay, and later on, how will you specify the row value in this case? So here I said I'm going to have 5 rows. Simply for simplicity, we'll make it as 2 rows. Okay, so here I said I'm going to have 2 rows. Column I have not mentioned, so later on I can do it. How can I do it? The name of the array is num, and I'm going to specify the number of column for the 0th row equal to, it's array of array, right? So I have to again create an array for the first row. It's like it's a single dimension array kind, right? So again I have to use a new keyword, say the type, and here I have to say how many number of column I am going to have. Let's see, 3 column or 4 column, right? Ended with a semicolon. So what I'm specifying, I have 2 rows. In this first row, that is 0th indexed row, I'm going to have 4 column. Same way, let us say for the second row, that is indexed with 1, equal to, I can say new and the type of the data, and let us say the column sizes again 4 and end it, right? So here you can see how the how you can specify the column value separately, and it is not compulsory that always every row should have the same column. So that's why they are giving this flexibility. Even for this second row I can have 7 columns. Okay, so if you have different column size, we say that as a jagged array. In the next video I will explain about 3-dimension array, and I will talk about jagged array also. So this is how we can we should remember that whenever you specify a 2-dimension array, specifying the column size, specifying the row size is very important, and later on you can specify the column size like this, and then as usual you can able to give the data for it. So since the column size is different, by specifying num of I dot length will give you the length. Okay, so we'll see when we discuss about it in the jagged array concept. And next thing I have to teach you is like here, when I declare an array like this, say for example let's create a 1-dimension array equal to first, then I have to specify the name of the array. Let's say ARR equal to new integer. When I create a 1-dimension array, definitely you have to give the size of the array. So let's say the size of the array is 5. Okay, so this is how we have defined an array as 5. Okay, so later on if you think that I want to increase the size of an array, then I can say again like ARR equal to new int the same array, and I'm going to increase the size of an array to 10. Okay, so this is also possible. Now if I just say system.out.println, and if I just say like we know how to display the content of an array using this arrays.toString, and if I just specify the name of an array, so since I have not given any data, the default value of integer will be filled in all this 10 values. So if I run this program, you will be getting 10. So I said the array size as 10, so I'll be getting 10 elements in this array. Since I didn't give any element to it, it is filling this array with the default value of integer, right? So this is possible. Okay, so we can change the size of an array during the compile time, so that is possible. But during the runtime, say for example let us do like this. So here we have the size of 10, the data we have totally 10 elements in an array. But if I try to do like this during the runtime, I am trying to get the 16th element of an array. So during the compile time, it is not showing any error. Okay, it is checking the syntax, no error is displayed. I am not getting any underline, red color and underline here. Okay, but when I run this program, you will get an exception. The exception name is array index out of bound exception. What is the meaning of it? The array is exceeding its bound. Actually we said the array size is 10. Okay, first we said as 5, later on we redefined as 10. So during the compile time it is possible we change the size, but during the runtime I am trying to access the 16th element of the array, but there is no such element because the array size is only 10, 0 to 9, but I try to get the 16th one. So when we go out of the bound during the runtime, you will get a exception like array index out of bound. So during the runtime we cannot able to change the size of an array, right? So these are the different things I want to discuss with you. How to create a 2-dimension array in different way, how to assign data to it, and how to display the content of an array. Hope you have understand all these things. Thank you for listening. God bless you all.